Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day. I want to thank you guys that hung out with me this morning on, here on YouTube. We did the live stream this morning. Got to spend the morning with us in the community. Everything you saw this morning is exactly what happens in the community. If you missed it, the video should be posted here. So make sure you check it out. One day you will be at the place you always wanted to be. Don't stop believing. The minute you stop believing is the minute things start to go south on you. You don't want to stop believing. It's possible. It's really possible. Whatever you want out of this trading, wherever you want to see yourself in the future, it's possible. Just don't stop believing. No, it's not something that you can snap your fingers one day and the next day you're, in paradise. That's not the way it works. You've got to work. You've got to grind it. You're going to go through the tough times. But don't stop believing. As long as you believe, you can achieve. So don't stop believing. All right. This is the last week I'm offering this roadmap to success deal. Pretty much filled up with as many people as I could take. But just to remind you, you get 6 months, all access. You get access to all the classes, everything I offer. You get one-on-one mentor session where we meet one-on-one. You get an hour that month. You can break it up. We can have 4 15-minute sessions, 2 30-minute sessions that month, or just one 1-hour session. It's up to you how you want to do it. So you can't beat the deal. I don't think you can beat it anywhere because it comes out to about $41.50 a month. When you figure it all out, and to get everything that you get, and I'm telling you, there are people that are shocked that how much they have changed and how much progress they made just in 1 month by starting this roadmap. Because what it does is it prepares you for success. If you're not prepared for success, you'll never achieve it. You may receive it, but you won't keep it. But you will never achieve it. So, you'd be surprised how far you can go. But you got to come in with the right attitude. This isn't something you could come in and I'm just going to tell you to get in here, get out there, get in here, get out there. No, you're going to learn how to trade. You're going to learn how to do this on your own. There are a lot of guys that they come in the chat room in the morning. We go, to go through the watch list and the scans and stuff. And then after that, they're on their own. They're trading on their own. They're not looking at what I'm doing anymore. They're doing their own thing. And that's the end goal. So that you're not dependent on anything or anybody, that you could go anywhere in the world and do your thing. And you don't have to worry about following or worry about verifying if this is right or that's right. Once you get through these 6 months, you're going to be well on your way to being able to do that, if not already being able to do it. Everybody has their own timeline and timetable. Everybody learns at different, at a different pace. I learn things slower now than I did 20 years ago. It's just father time. But some of you are younger, you can learn it very quickly, and you can program yourself very quickly, because this is a change. We're in the business of changing your life, and that's what this will do. So last week for it, it's going to disappear after the weekend. So if you want to take advantage of it, you better grab it soon. And this has been out there for a couple months now. So it's time to reel it in. All right, so let's take a look at the trades from this morning. So if you weren't in the live feed, you can see these trades live. All of the trades I took this morning. And this was a disaster. And this is what happens. This is what happens, and we have to accept this. I made a little mistake here chasing this down. But I thought we were going to continue to wash down to the 200. And I'm blocking the 200. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. All right, so there's the 200 right here. And I was thinking that we were going to get this move down. Now, this is the 52-week high. Microsoft gapped up, and I thought we were going to pull in. The way this thing was looking, I thought we were going to pull in. We did make a higher high up here relative to this price action here to get after the gap up. But we started selling off. We tried to bounce before the open, and we couldn't. Here's the crazy candle. The open, we tested everything and closed. So, I'm looking for this to sell off. And it should have sold off hard down to the 20. But just because it sets up that way, and technically it looks like it's going to move that way, doesn't mean it has to. There's always going to be some jackass or somebody else with a lot of clout and a lot more money than we have that's looking to buy it off of a certain level. And it got bought here. So I got stopped out, and this thing started to sell back off. So of course, in my infinite wisdom, I'm going to jump back in thinking we're going to come down now, and I end up getting stopped out again. And of course, it eventually does what I want it to do. Throughout the course of the day, we eventually hit the 200, but it had closed up so quick. Right here, this would have been an awesome move, but the 200 trended up all day, and it actually met somewhere around, what price was that? Somewhere around 129 is kind of where it met. So, ended up taking a nice little hit to start the morning off with. Minus 364.68. Took a nice little hit. But here's the thing. Unlike yesterday, because what I had to do after yesterday was I had to sit down last night. I stayed up. I fell asleep listening to Mark Douglas and, watching those videos so I could get my head screwed on straight. And all of the videos played in my ear even while I was sleeping. So I just had to get a tune-up. And it allows me to accept these things. Because it doesn't matter if I have 5 or 6 losses in a row, 7 losses in a row. I know at the end of the week, at the end of the month, I'm going to be putting money in the bank. That's all that matters to me. Each individual trade doesn't really matter. It only matters when I'm executing it. If it doesn't work, oh well, let's move on. I don't feel this was a revenge trade. I had no ill will in my mind about this. No disappointment, because I didn't expect, I didn't have that expectation that this thing is gonna win, that it's gonna work. I always knew that it could either hit my target or hit my stop. And that's what it did. So we moved on from that. And we caught a trend continuation trade off of, well, really this was kind of a bear flag type deal. But it was a rejection this moving average here. So I call it a trend continuation trade. It had yet to break the 5-minute open range low. You know, it set it on this big candle, and I had drawn this out, but this was like it could be a pennant or a bear flag, however you want to look at it. But it looked, a short to me. So we got in it. We got short here, hit my first target, hit my second target, which was the 5-minute open range low. And we almost hit the second target down here. But it bounced, or the third target down here, but it bounced and took me out. And then it kind of showed me that it just did not have any push. So I got back in, took some off here at the opening range low. This is always a level of concern for me. So I covered some here, then covered some at this level that it almost hit previously, and then it bounced and ended up taking me out, on a, well, I say break even, but it's just a little bit above, so that this cover pretty much pays for the trade. It doesn't go all the way back to zero. It practically pays for all of the commissions and fees when I take it off. So really nice. And you guys got to see both of these trades on live stream. So if you want to go back and hear what I was thinking and what I was doing during the trades, go back and watch that video. That's what happens every day. This is what we do every day in chat. You see me win, lose, or draw. And you get to, witness how I deal with it. Some days it's not very nice. But that's just, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm human. Some days I'm going to have unrealistic expectations and they don't get met. And I get upset, and I have to corral myself. All of you guys have those same issues. All of you. And I'm sure some of you out there now have probably had 8, 9 red trades in a row. And you're saying this strategy doesn't work, that strategy doesn't work, this and all that. That's not the way to fix it. The way to fix it is to look at each trade, journal it, discuss in your journal, discuss your feelings. Go through, if you're part of the community, you've got access to my reflection sheet. You reflect on each trade. If you do it right, your problems will almost magically appear before your eyes. You'll be able to pinpoint what you're doing wrong, and that's when we can get together and fix it. So, don't use you're losing every day as an excuse. If you're not doing what you need to do to learn from it and to tweak it, then you're not doing all you can to be successful. So we tried another trend continuation trade here. Kind of didn't work. It was toward the end of lunch, so I had to come back. I wasn't gonna hang on to it and just wait and kind of reset when we got back. And we got in here at the break of this level. It did push back a little bit on this candle, but most of the time when we get in, the stock's not going to go immediately in our direction anyway. So we've got to be ready for that. So I got back in here right off this 116.56 level, and we noticed, and if you guys remember from back here, the same thing was happening here. Every time we hit a whole dollar mark, it was a fight. Now, we could see that the sellers were slowly taking control, but we saw that fight. And so I had to take some here at 116. It started fighting here at 115.50, which is, let me see, where is it? Yeah, around 115.50. I got it at 115.45, and then it bounced back. I mean, this was somebody got angry, and I think it just triggered a lot of buy orders, and it took out all of the sellers that were sitting there. Eventually, it came down to what, 115, but there was a level. The next level was like 113.44, so I didn't think it would get there, but I did look for it to get down to around 115 to 114. Between 114.75, 115 is where I thought it would get. It didn't quite get there, but still a really nice trade. 639.86. I know we had 19 tickets. I know today was one of these days where this is abnormal for me. I typically do not have this many tickets. But there were many opportunities today. And, when we have many opportunities, we're going to take advantage of it. But they're not going to be little itty bitty moves. So you can look at my commissions and everything is about $120. That doesn't mean anything. Look at the bottom line. This really means nothing when you look at how much you make. If you trade like you're supposed to, and you take the trades that make sense, you don't have to worry about commissions. Commissions is a non-factor. If you knew how much commissions that traders had to pay just 10 years ago, you wouldn't be crying about, commissions. You'd be happy you got what you got and that you have the ability to make money. And then once you have money, you can go wherever you want to go. You can go to these brokers that have low commissions. You can go to the discount brokers or wherever you want to go. But you got to have money first. If you don't have it, then, I'm showing you how to get it. I'm showing you every day. It's not, you don't have to guess at it. I'm showing you every day, trade by trade, of how to grow it, how to build your account, and eventually you can make a living day trading. But you gotta get through the beginning first. All right, so that's that trade. We finally got an earnings trade today. Finally. In this one, I really liked from the beginning, because this is in a sector that's just being destroyed right now. This sector is being destroyed. The chip makers and semiconductors, I forgot what industry. This is in the it's in the technology sector, but they make they make like chips and stuff like that. Whatever it was, all of these stocks are taking a beating. So the way we trade earnings is not so much based on the earnings they report now. It does have a little bit to do with it, but it has more on guidance. Where do they see the stock next quarter or the quarter after that? 3 to 6 months from now, where is the stock going to be? That's where we're going to be trading right now. And so that's why a lot of times you'll see a stock that may beat on earnings, but the forecast sucks and the stock tanks, because they know the people that were in the know bought it, or they started building their short sell position, and they're taking advantage of it. They know it's coming down. So people may buy, everybody may be buying because they think it's going to go up. They're buying it because it had good earnings. The people that aren't in the know, and all of us are selling into these guys. We sell into them, and then we buy the cover. And we're buying as they're selling their longs that aren't working. We're buying them. We're buying them. People that are in, because when we short, the only way we're going to be able to get out is somebody has to be selling. And so these guys that bought, thinking this thing was going to pop, I'm buying it. I'm taking them out. And we're making money. You've got to think like the big guys think. You got to get on their level. That's where the edge is. If you don't have an edge, trading is gambling. It's a 50-50 shot. It's either going to go up or down. And it doesn't make sense. That doesn't last. We went through that with the coin flip deal. So you have to you got to understand that you got to have an edge. If you don't have an edge, if you don't know or you can't figure out what they're forecasting in the future, if you don't understand what's behind the numbers, then you shouldn't be trading it at all. And if it doesn't set up and give us what we want to see going into the close, we shouldn't trade it at all. SBUX was one that we were looking at, and it should have gapped up based on the numbers the analysts had out and everybody fluffing it up. So, but it didn't trade right going into the close. And so at the close, you got this huge dip that if you were long, if you were buying on all of that fluff and everything that was pumped up, and you didn't watch what was going on with the price action, it went down, and you probably would have stopped out. It would have scared you out. And then it popped up a couple of points, and then it kind of sold back off. That price action that happened going into the close pretty much sealed its fate. So those are the ones that I stay away from. I don't have an edge anymore. And you got to stay away from those. That's why I'm very selective with what I pick. And you can have all of these because people are asking me, what about this stock? What about that stock? I don't like it. There's something about it I don't like. I don't want to deal with it. If I don't have an edge, I'm not trading it. That's how we have to be. So that was my day. I hope you guys that enjoyed the live stream. I'm gonna look to do it maybe once every 2 weeks or so. Give everybody an idea of what it's like in here. If you want to come join us, you have a good idea of what it's like every day in the chat room. It's all about education. It's all about learning. It's all about growing. And eventually, you're going to grow. You're going to outgrow me. Just like students outgrow their teachers, by the end of the year, if you're a good teacher, your students will outgrow you by the end of, their term. And that's my goal, is to get all of my traders to outgrow me by the time they get through, everything that I have to teach them. That's what it's all about. So you guys take it easy. Have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow.